I want to go in. Really trying to get like 3 hours a week. And
Nate, you say that every single time.
I try, but like last night I was looking at the clock and
Hold
everybody's
his
like,
feet to the fire, Tanya.
What's that?
Hold his feet to the fire.
"Mm,
See, this
I
is the whole
gotta have,
thing. You guys are all addicts, and you keep driving him to be here 10 hours at a time.
well, no, because
Yeah.
everybody's got to have time to build and work on their businesses and their lives. But I'm going to be doing a deep dive into Claude and some other stuff on Sunday. So, and people ask me, I want to clarify on the recording that I'm not actually, because people have hit me up, should I wait until you get Claude? I said no. If you get GPT, we the maximum solution to be if we use both, because I would have a night for the Claude users and a night for the GPT users. But I don't know how soon I can have the Claude one up and running as effective as the GPT one. So I'm kind of just telling people what I'm doing so they know that I'm kind of in progress with it. But we got so many I mean things in progress, like what Eric and Michael are working on, and then they're with Amanda and now Don. So what we talked about last night just may turn into a huge like disposition organization of some kind. So we're going to talk about that tonight when Amanda comes on. I don't know if she's busy, but hey, Doris, what's up? Let's talk about your stuff first, because I know last night we went long. I did. Let me show everybody real quick. Make sure your communications are good. Are you able to? Yes, I got that PDF that you sent, or the Word document. So let's see. I'm trying to see if you're able to. Yeah, cool. So let me go ahead and actually share screen and go right to it because I left it up. Um, and I don't have the one I can like. I think it probably will send it. I think it'll show it. Okay, so she sent me last night. You sent me the list in. There were some properties in Harrisburg and Scranton. So here's the properties: the 335 North Market Street, 6.5 mil, 301 Market Street, 315 North Front Street, 2nd Street, 3rd Street, all these different ones, Spring Creek Apartments, and then Scranton, Pennsylvania. So just off the very information that you gave me that had the prices and the addresses, it was actually able to go in and it kind of looked it up, and within about a minute, it pulled up the clear institutional grade play for the Scranton student housing unit, which is 72 units, 10.3% cap, the 10 cap one. So this is the only deal in the doc that screams. It says underwrite me immediately. And then it talks about a 10% cap in a university market. It's either mismanagement, deferred maintenance, or it's soft demand perception, which is often wrong. And then student housing near campus tends to have sticky demand, parent back rent, prediction leasing cycles, value add and operational optimization. Hey, Kevin, didn't you say something about student housing last night when we were talking about this? Because I know when we were talking about this list last night, that came up. So, like I said, and
Yeah,
I
that's one of the things that is going to change the cap on it because of the way that the student housing is handled, and
yeah,
it's there's a lot of you know coming and going there, but it's always consistent. That's the thing. And not to mention large volume. So it's a 10 might be a 5 in reality.
yeah, it's going to be somewhere between a 5 and a 10 for sure. But and I printed all this. I saved all this stuff so I can send it to anybody. And Doris, I can send you everything that I printed for you. Just we want to kind of show it first, and then we can talk about it. So it gets into the portfolio one, which is like in the Harrisburg core. So there's a dense cluster on Market Street, Front Street, and Second Street. They're all in the same area, really. So potentially you can control the block as a strategy. So look at it. There's 5 properties on that cluster right there that are on that list. So that's pretty good. So that's pretty solid. You could probably get somebody to go in there and get a portfolio deal. So you got individually small to mid deals, repositioning as a micro district. There might be some opportunity there to get some zone funding and stuff like that, opportunity zone funding and things. Especially if they go to workforce housing or short-term rentals if zoning allows, and a retail residential blend. So this is opportunity where you could possibly use this to justify doing a capital raise. And rather than lenders and basically going out and RCIC will help. You can use operator and capital passport and campaign, and you can actually build a campaign to go out there and try to get an investment group together to take over this block, because you're talking 5 properties there. You control the block, you can get a lot of opportunities on. There's probably some other government incentives to do that. So you get into these the land play, the one on Commerce Drive, 21 acres, 4.8 million. So it's not a hyper growth market. So you won't speculate blindly. It's going to be industrial flex or storage. So industrial logistics, like I said, this is what it came up with me. In less than a minute, it generated what I'm putting on screen right now to show you this, and then we can go through it a little bit before we go into talk about the stuff we were talking about last night. That's kind of cool. Doris, are you coming back in? I didn't see you leave. Let's see. Let me try to see if she's, because I don't want to get too far since these are her properties that she sent me. Hey Doris, what's up?
Could end up being that this X-class flare is messing with their communications.
It's
We have that for next week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The other thing is it could also mess up Zoom as a whole, too. So I've already had it happen 3 times today.
All right, we'll figure it out as we go. So Doris, I'm talking about your deals. If you're able to hear it, let me know, and then while we try to fix your unmuted, let me go through this, because we're gonna. And these are like your properties that you sent.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, there you are. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I had to I couldn't get in. I had to go get a spare laptop. I don't know what's wrong with this.
And I saved all this so I can send you the PDFs. These are all your addresses. This took less than a minute from. I just basically saved what you sent me and entered this directly, and it came up with all this information.
Okay.
So you'll still have to. And at the end of this, again, it gives you what. And I did save that. It did come up with what you need to input more into it. I can help you get set up with RCIC this weekend, since I know you haven't probably installed it yet. Yeah, that way you can start working on this.
Okay.
Land play around Harrisburg, and that's a pretty good deal. So we're talking about industrial logics and self-storage, which is low risk and scalable, and build to rent housing demand. So this is a capital stack zoning and timeline deal, not a quick flip. All this looks like you could probably control an entire block of 5 properties if you raised capital. If you did like a 503, 506B, a 506B was regulation D, you could probably go raise the money and get investors and stuff to actually get all 5 properties, and you control the whole. It's like all 3 of these streets interact with each other.
Hey.
So it's kind of cool.
I'll take any help I can get, because I was looking at DSCRs and
because then you don't have to worry about lenders, and you might be able to. These numbers work. Obviously, you're gonna need more information, so you'll have some after tonight to go get information, and then you can send it to me, and then I can kind of run it. I can keep adding it to it and build onto it to help.
What kind of information you need?
It's gonna go through that on here, and I said,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna get to it. I'm going through a little bit of it right now, just kind of highlighting, and that's what I'm kind of do. I'm kind of highlighting this, and then everybody can see how it was able to take your address is exactly what you gave me, which didn't have a lot of information, didn't have T12s and rent rolls and all the kind of stuff that it's going to ask for, but it was able to generate a lot of information really quick, less than a minute to put this together. So that was pretty awesome. So good for newer operators, or you have a bolt-on for a longer strategy. You could do BRRRR and light reposition. There's boutique rentals, Airbnb, and there's a lot of historic tax credits. Big one on Front Street. So the one on Front Street, you could actually probably look at tax credits, which could help a lot. You got the hotel. Price that it's negotiable, distressed, or unclear performance.
Well, this hotel, from what I remember about it, it's on the other side of Harrisburg. It's like 5 miles from the Colonial Park mall I was talking about a couple years back.
Yeah.
But anyway, this hotel was primarily for, you know how you get construction working in the area and they need a place to stay.
Yeah.
This is basically what this was about, you know, and it was corporation that paid the rent, the fees for the hotel stay. They may have a crew of 20, and they may have 2 to a room, and the corporation would pay for it, as opposed to them trying to drive all the way back to Virginia or Maryland, where they were stationed at.
Like
Yeah.
extended stay kind of hotel, extended stay
Yeah,
type.
yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, and it was very popular for a long time, especially when Verizon was putting in those internet lines in,
Yeah.
power line, and when they was doing the when they had the floods up in my area, they was sitting there. They were making money. They couldn't even close the cash register to how much money they was making because of the need to repair a lot of the commercial areas, you know, from the flood. But then someone said that about 2 years ago, when the interest rate went double dip, that their what do you want to call them, tenants went down, a customer went down, and apparently they're not breaking even right now. So it's in a good location. I mean, it's outside the area. It's close to shopping centers out there. It's set back a little bit and has plenty of parking. But it was mainly for, I mean, they had some regular people there, but the bulk of them was for those working long distance. That's all I can tell you about that.
Yeah, so this is saying your strategic rate. If this is it's pipeline. You don't want to treat these as 10 separate deals. This might be a good opportunity for a portfolio, or for, like I said, raising capital. You can control it.
$30 million.
No, there's
That'd be a whole lot of hurt on me.
I know, but I'm trying to show you right now what RCIC came up with you.
Okay.
So just kind of, then you can break it down, because it gives you a couple of different. It's going to give you 3 different strategies. That's what's good about this. For anybody who hasn't really gone into these kind of deals, it always gives you like a couple of different strategies. It gives you exit strategies. I mean, literally, it comes up with some pretty cool stuff, you know. So it helps a lot. It helps you make a lot of decisions. You want to take the emotion out of decisions, and this is going to give you all the key intelligence you need. So this is, you target 3 of the 5 downtown assets in strategy 1. Your goal is to create a repositioned micro portfolio, and the exit is to refinance or sell a stabilized portfolio. So that's strategy 1, which is control the Harrisburg core. Strategy 2 is cash flow anchor, acquire Scranton student housing, stabilize and increase the NOI, and uses yield anchor for investors. That's another strategy. Strategy 3 is an optionality bet. Tie up to 21-acre parcel with contingencies. Solve zoning plus highest best use before closing. So those are 3 strategies that it suggested off of, you know, and it basically goes through and it looks at all the properties. It pulls, I mean, it literally did a search where you saw it hit like Zillow, it hit like 20 websites just in like a minute. Like, just went boom, 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 and came back and gave all this. So that's, it kind of shows you guys the power of what this RCIC can do. It doesn't matter if you got some base information, it'll kind of make a plan for you. So imagine if you're able to go and, you know, you take those NEDs, those NEDs, those no selection demands, the nods, or you take the unlawful detainers, you take that information that I've been showing you how to get it, like the county, and if you enter it, it literally can come up with strategies for you, exit strategies, entry strategies. It comes with a lot of good stuff for you. The red flags. So these are some of the things you'll have to answer. And like I said, there is a PDF that I saved that I can send you, and it basically, it will have all these questions, so we don't have to go through them tonight. What I'd like to have you do is then go through and try to answer, you know, get some of the stuff together that it's asking for over the weekend, and get it to me in time for next Wednesday's session. And we'll see if we can maybe find a way to put some of this together for you.
Okay.
NOI, the rent rolls, it's gonna try to help you figure out occupancy, what the CapEx requirements are, the zoning details, and the debt terms and assumable financing, and then the reason for sale. So we can do a deep dive on, try to see if there's what kind of news or what kind of current events involved in why it could put possibly for why they're selling these. So this PDF isn't a list of properties. It's 3 different strategies disguised as a list. So you got high yield student housing, you got urban assemblage play, and you got development optionality with the 21 acre land. So it's pretty much cool that it basically started working a little bit further. And this is kind of what I saved for you. You want to see this. You got a deal. This is Scranton student housing, 72 units. It's got the address, what the price is, the 72 unit student housing. And it's got a reported cap rate 10.3. This is the PDF, and I did save this for you already.
Okay.
And then why this deal exists, why it's mispriced. 10% 10 cap in student housing is not normal, and it's not normal anywhere in that. One of these is happening. So there's either poor management, there's operational inefficiency, cosmetic neglect, or seller fatigue. They just went out. So this is actually an operational problem and not a market problem. So that means you can go in and fix it. That's a good thing about it. It's not a market. You probably are limited because you can't take over the whole market to fix it all at one time. But if it's an operational problem, you can fix it, which is really good. That's good news. Core investment thesis: acquire underperforming student housing near a stable university, optimize operations, and compress cap rate on exit. Simple institutional logic. So you get a demand check, non-negotiable. University of Scranton, private university, generally more stable enrollment. Students need housing every year. Proximity is pricing power. Student housing has one advantage most people miss: leasing resets annually. Faster rent growth than traditional multifamily, because you can't do a 5-year lease when people want to go to school, and most people aren't living in private housing, off campus housing as freshmen. So you're really talking about 3 years. So you should be able to turn these over. People should be able to turn over student housing every, obviously you get people graduating, and you've got to go get more people. So it does help a lot with turnover and stuff like that doing student housing. And then parents always will pay the rent. No matter what, somebody's going to pay the rent. In some cases, they can get vouchers as well. They might be on a full ride, and some universities give them a voucher to go pay, private landlords rather than paying that for the dorms and stuff. So obviously, you're going to click the back of the napkin underwrite. So let's pressure test the numbers. So 4.5885 million, 10.3% cap. NOI is 500K. So 72 units, NOI per unit is $6,944. So you got $579 net operating income per unit. So that's low. That's good. So that suggests your rents are likely below market, or expenses are too high, or both. So those are both fixable. Everything so far is fixable, and that's a good thing for this. You get in, and like I said, I saved it all. A value add plan. There's a phase 1, a stabilize, 0 to 6 months. You fix the leasing process, students equal pre-leasing game. Tighten management, reduce obvious expense leaks. So like right now we're going through the strategies. If you want to go further, like I said, get all the information it's going to ask for, and next week actually start running the numbers and start putting something together. And then if you decide you want to pursue it from there, then it's pretty cool. You can test out a lot of the different components of RCIC.
Okay.
And then you basically revenue growth 6 to 18 months, raise rents to market. Even $100 a unit has a huge impact. How many years? I think this was. Think about if you just raise $100 a unit. That's how much income that is, right there. You got furnished units. You get the Wi-Fi bundles. You can get Wi-Fi. Sometimes you can get a cut of the Wi-Fi from the companies. Parking. You can charge for parking. Light renovation, 12 to 24 months is phase 3. Cosmetic upgrades, floors, paint, fixtures, justify premium rents. So that's a pretty good deal. This looks like a pretty good deal. If you upside this, you increase it by 150 unit per month, 72 units times 150, 10,800 a month. You just put 129,600 a year in added revenue. So that's good. 90K NOI increase. So that's pretty sweet. So original NOI is 500K. The new NOI is 590. So at a 7.5 exit cap, very reasonable. The value is 7.8 million. So you just raised this by almost $3 million.
Okay.
So, Doris, this actually looks like a pretty good deal.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's the spread: purchase 4.85 million, stabilized value 7.8. The delta is 3 million upside. So that's before getting fancy. 3 million upside.
Sound like a good one.
Yeah, risks. Don't ignore these. Enrollment decline. Always check the trend. Oversupply. I mean, you really do got to do your homework on the university and look what its numbers are. Oversupply of housing nearby if there's any oversupply. Bad unit mix. Too many wed bedrooms versus student preference.
Yes.
Misjudged rent costs. Student housing is operationally tighter than normal multifamily. If leasing slips, you feel it fast. So here's your exit strategy. You're not selling to another small investor. You're selling to regional operators, student housing funds, yield-focused buyers, and then the play is a stabilized, so 2 years clean NOI, exit and compressed cap. So this is a mismanaged student housing asset near a stable university, priced at a 10% cap. This opportunity is operational, tied to management, raise rents, and exit into the 7 to 8% cap range. That creates a $3 million value spread on a 4.85 million purchase. So that's a pretty good situation, and I can save this. I saved it all for you.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and you guys see it here. It gets out of the pitches. So when you guys are doing this stuff, and you guys are just like doing, like I said, Doris gave me one page that had 7 addresses and what the asking price of these were, and I entered that, and that's what's generating all this information. Literally, this is intelligence. It's generating all of this information, and you will have to fill in some blanks to make it stronger. Like I said, you got all weekend. You can everything it's going to ask you. I put in the PDF that I can send you.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is the Harrisburg one. You got different buckets. It calls it buckets, so everybody kind of get used to. RCIC to the GBT, bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3. These are the different strategies. So this talks about the ones in Harrisburg, the Market Street, the Front Street. So like I said, you can control the Harrisburg core. There's 5 properties that make up these 3, and that's a pretty good deal. It has all that information on here. So you can acquire 2 to 5 strategically located assets in the same submarket. It's great. So, there's a possibility of, like I said, controlling the block. You literally get these are all within a couple blocks of each other, 5 properties. That's a good way to go in there and do the value adds, do all the rent increases, do all the things you do, CapEx, all that stuff, improvements. You literally can raise the value of the entire couple of blocks around the area, which is good. So you get there's a class pitch, and then we have a live deal calculator. So, and I did actually save that, guys. It's in files tab. I just put it there 4 o'clock. So it's in both groups in the files tab. You guys can go find the information on these deals of Doris for educational purposes. If anybody's interested in these deals, want us to partner with her, reach out. We can, because some of these look like really strong deals. So this is the live deal calculator. It's also in there, and it basically is what it's going to ask you. Purchase price, units of rentable area, what the current revenue is, current expenses, target rent increase or NOI increase. So it talks about this. Here's this is the deal, estimate current NOI. It's gonna give you all the measurements and the basis, price per unit, purchase price, number of units. It's pretty cool. This is really awesome. Like I said, it gives a lot of good information. So it has all the calculations, and they're all, like I said, I probably put a ton of information in there. A lot of deals, a lot of stuff. I put tons of OMs, offer memorandums, and PPMs and all that in here. So there's a lot of good information that you're going to be able to get when you would just put addresses in. So you got a plug and play script and all that stuff. So like I said, I saved this. There's a deal analysis 1-pager. I put that into the Facebook groups. You can download both of those as well. You can start at quick numbers. So it's pretty sweet. And then there's a deal analysis worksheet. And I put this, and you guys will find this what's on the screen now. You'll find that in the Facebook group. So it's going to go through the deal snapshot. There's going to be a quick underwrite, current NOI, price per unit square foot, initial read, underpriced, market, overpriced. You can sit there and make these it'll make these determinations real fast. That tells you if you even want to pursue it. Value add model. So it's going to talk about the value add. Then you get into your stabilization model, equity creation, strategy classification. This is cash flow, value add multifamily, student housing optimization, assemblage portfolio play, development land play. Gives you all the strategies. And so then you got an operational plan. You can start working on an operational plan, 0 to 6 months, 6 to 18, 18 to 36. It'll also help you with the key risks. It'll help you determine those and it'll populate this. And then exit strategy, refinance, sell to operator, sell as portfolio, hold for cash flow. So it's going to be all this. It's going to be all those options when you complete this. And then so when you guys go into like RCIC, you start putting in more information that I ask you, the more you can put in. Remember we said last night, it's garbage in, garbage out. So if you put in a lot of good information, this thing's going to blow up. I mean, so they're going to turn into a 20 or 30 page thing. It's going to give you all the information you need to make a decision. Advanced module, you get this Assemblage strategy. You want to control the framework. Core question, is the portfolio worth more together than separately? Then you get your value drivers. Assemblage thesis. We're not acquiring isolated properties. We're building control over a defined micro market. That's cool. So you got to think about it as a micro market. RCIC quick formula. This is all the what you have to memorize. Purchase price cap rate equals current NOI. Units times rent increase times 12 times NOI margin is your NOI lift. And then you got new NOI plus exit cap equals stabilized value. Stabilized value equals total basis equals profit. All these calculations are at RCIC. You guys don't, you can go in there and ask for any of this. Operator rule, if you cannot explain the deal in one sentence and defend the math in 2 minutes, you do not have a deal. So it's kind of cool. And then we upgrade it into a kind of a worksheet, and we can build, we can build fillable PDF worksheets where you can just go fill in the blanks. So I downloaded this, that is available. I downloaded this PowerPoint. Let's see if I can actually see if it'll come up. It's not all pretty. It's just got the information on there. Analyze fast, speak clearly. Price, units, cap rate. So basically it's just down to the brass tacks. So you got step 3, which is rent lift equals NOI lift. You got step 4, value equals NOI plus cap. 5 is your spread equals profit. And so only 6 slides, but you can say we could build something pretty cool for that. You can go further in explaining this. So it's pretty cool, Doris, what it did. Like I said, for everybody else, and I was able to save all this into the PDFs. So does anybody have any questions? Like I said, you just enter the addresses, and it was very little information actually generated all that information. Now imagine if you go in there and you put all the T12s and the rent rolls and all that stuff in there. How much better, how much more accurate the information will be. So we can do that too if anybody wants. I can try to find a couple deals next week over the weekend where we can actually put T12s and rent rolls in there to show everybody kind of just how these things come together real quick in minutes. You don't have to go there and and do a lot of work. I mean, it's not like Blue Sky. So yeah, that's kind of cool. So I saved all that for you, Doris. I'll send it over to you, and then anybody else wants it, let me know. It has questions on there. The PDF I saved has some questions on there. So what do you think about that, Doris?
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I just get some more pieces of information and a way to fund it. I'll be sitting good by summer.
Well, yeah, and the thing about it is this happens in minutes. So you save all your time to go, it creates a lot more time for people because you can't go make more time. People can go make money, but they can't make more time. Well, what about getting some of the time back? Instead of spending 2 or 3 hours doing this all by hand, manually, having to go through and download stuff and enter it and calculators, this is going to do it all in minutes.
If you have a situation come up where you have a community redevelopment thing, which is in a lot of ways what this is, and the local government entities and everybody else, NGOs, are needing to get something done, as soon as possible. This is one way to be able to set up and communicate with the policyholders and everybody else, just how to go about getting it done. So you don't necessarily have to get into the property, buy the property, and do all this stuff. you can easily turn into an individual consulting on these things with government entities, NGOs, and stuff like
Think
that.
about this,
Okay?
Ken. So you go to a meeting like a community development or a city.
Exactly. The city council, there's an emergency session coming up, and you just happen to be the kind of person that can just walk in there completely prepared and ready to rock and roll.
And guess
And
what?
you're going to go just like everybody else that's on this call. Wow. Okay.
Just sit there and pull out your
And
iPhone.
that can make a hell of an impression, especially if you're wanting to do something in the community on a long-term basis.
Yeah. Well, here's something that you can see here and see if it applies to what you just said. There is a low-income housing complex about 2 miles
I know we've
from
done
me.
that. Yeah, we've got the very first one of those in the history of this country was right here in Kansas City. And it's currently being completely redeveloped because they just completely mismanaged the living crap out of that thing. Okay.
Well, they got one in Harrisburg.
To do it. Yeah. And the thing of it is, HUD has a lot to do with a lot of this stuff, and they don't know what they're doing. Okay. So if you're in a position where you could walk in there and say, hey, look, you could be a government contractor doing just laying this stuff out.
Okay.
You can help the community qualify people to go in and do things with this. Okay. There's just a lot of other opportunities besides just actually buying the real estate and doing it all yourself.
Yeah.
Or having to get involved in another deal. And in your particular case, you've been in this position probably at least a dozen times that I know of.
Yeah.
Okay. And it always comes out the same. Now, with this kind of setup that we have here, it's a whole different ballgame. And this goes for anybody that's on this call. Okay. Or anybody listening to this call or the recording of this call.
Yep.
And this is a duplicatable system that anybody can do. Cookie cutter kind of thing.
And here's a thing that for everybody. You guys, everybody has the most powerful tool, your phone, iPhone, Android, doesn't matter. You go to these meetings or something, you can pull up RCIC on OpenAI on its app. You can just pull
and then you go ahead and get everything all set up on your phone. Usually most of these people have a Bluetooth connection or something where you can just post everything up on the screen. It's just a wonderful little setup that you can have. And you could do it in a short notice and be ready to go in less than 24 hours. Nobody else can do that now.
You can do this in 5 minutes of notice, really, if you just, if they give you like this.
Usually for community meetings and emergency community meetings, it's usually at least 24 hours notice. But the point being is there's nobody else out there that can do this right now. Okay. This is all new. And again, this floats in. I wrote a paper on this with Bob Bennett, who is the guy that invented the smart city technology. Okay. And this particular tool used in this particular way does exactly what I was talking about in that paper. Back then, we didn't have any of this. Okay. And when you go to try to find funding and you have this kind of a setup going, funders are a lot easier to work with because you're already ready to go. And the city's already ready to go. I mean, you're basically a savior at that point in time. Okay. And I recommend that you do that. If you don't feel comfortable with the 10 cap, don't worry about it. You have what it takes to go in there and make thousands of dollars just.
I mean, if the 10 cap maybe
all together for somebody.
There's still potentially a $3 million upside.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess the three of us are gonna have to sit down and figure out how we can make this work.
Well, I'm going to send you the PDF. It's going to have what it needs to give me all this, and then if you get me that back to my, by like Tuesday or Wednesday, I can enter these and then have it ready to go next week. Session. We can fire up and see what's going on. But yeah, for everybody else, any questions? I know we got other people on. While we're talking about this, I know Nick and Don and Kevin are on. Let me see. I think Tanya's still here. Cool. Anybody got any questions about this or anything you like this? I mean, give me some feedback, because we can, like I said, Doris just gave me the numbers this morning and I was able to enter these and at least get these exit strategies. By all means, it doesn't have all the information that it needs, but now you know what you need. You can, if you're like on right now, you could be putting that information in if you have it. I mean, if you had to go to like the correct seasonal nets to go get it, you could do that. And so it's pretty cool that way. So I'll kind of open it up for everybody. And then I want to show you guys one more cool thing. And then I think Amanda and, well, I don't know, let me see, Don, you guys all pretty much spent a lot of time talking last night, you and Amanda and Eric or Lulu. How'd that conversation go? I saw a little bit of it on the messenger. So we get Don unmuted. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Nick, what do you got? What else do you think? What are you thinking? What do you think about this? Can I get everybody kind of unmuted? Yeah, I think it's all pretty good, guys. So I think, yeah. Hey, Don.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how'd your conversation with Amanda? It seems like you guys are communicating a lot.
I'm in a busy place. I can't really hear you.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, just update me when you can, like Messenger or something. I'll give everybody else feedback. So,
Okay.
Yeah, dude. I know. I just said I know you like talking. Cool. All right, let me bring up Tanya, and then I'll get to Kevin and Nick. Tanya, what's going on? How are you? We're on tomorrow. I will send you the link in the morning.
Okay. You want to just give me a ballpark time?
Probably like the same time. Does that work for you?
Which was like 11:30 your time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That totally
Okay.
works.
All right.
Yeah, so no, I was just more focused on watching you see how you got your system set up so I can compare mine to yours.
Yeah, and I'll be able to probably share a little bit more of that tomorrow. This kind of got a little bit by, I couldn't do what I did with Doris's deal like this on that because it isn't set up that far yet. And I thought last night I could do it. This morning I was like, so I do, and I will show that because I think on Sunday I'm gonna have time. On Easter Sunday I'm just gonna basically get all that done in there because and I've got a pretty good. I've already got it mostly all set up, but I want it to be firing. I don't want to really. What I decided I didn't want to do is I didn't want to be like doing it in progress while you guys are watching because it'd be kind of boring. I want to trigger it and then I want to show what that in a couple of days. So if I set it up, if I finish setting it up all Sunday and I have it ready for you guys next Thursday night, it'll be all populated and probably going predictive pretty quick.
Are you talking about Chat GPT?
Yeah, on the
Okay.
system, I talk about using my other laptop and my personal account. I was going to do that tonight, but
That's
I
what I
just
thought.
feel like what I want to do is I don't want to be doing it in progress and then
Okay.
for any reason it's like I get a glitch or something on their end because everybody's kind of like sometimes everybody it's still a brand new account or it's not going to be like my seasoned account with 1,500 hours into it. So I don't have all the stuff there. So I'm going to finish that on Sunday and then get it to start triggering, and that way I can show everybody next. Then I wanted to show everybody these. Doris gave me these 7 addresses. I want to show everybody. I put all these in, and like 2 minutes later, I had this whole.
Yeah.
So it happens pretty quick, and there's more information she provides to it. If she gathers, does some homework, this thing next week it'll be like totally different. It can almost be underwritten, and you guys will see next week. It'll probably somewhat do like if we use the syndicated deal analyzer that I have, it'll probably actually do a first pass on underwriting.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool.
So is everybody else on this call got their whole system set up and it's functional?
Well, everybody that's on right now, everybody's in the progress of that.
Mm-hmm.
There's some, because I know like there's probably about 20, 25 people out there that are, like Eric and Amanda and all of them are out there. Plus we got some other people that have been using it that you guys don't really see. They pop in once in a while, but I know we got like Evan Zeflovich, who's a lender, things like that. A lot of people that are in our PMA group, they don't come on here as much, but there's a lot of people out there populating. I think everybody is in the process of Don's is probably of everybody that's here, Don's is probably the farthest along. You've been dealing with it. Doris hasn't installed hers yet, and I think Kevin's just starting on his as well.
Yeah, I'm just starting. I haven't got. I'm in development.
Yeah. So I mean that's not an issue. It's not. It should take less than 2 hours really for everybody to do that. Once you get your buy box and stuff. But yeah, I'm, and I just want to try to have you guys all do it. Like I'm coming up with a suggestion. It's kind of like having a suggested retail price. I'm trying to give you guys this is how it's working for a lot of people. But like Eric sent me the thing this morning, and he said this system's insane. And I said I want to show you what I got on it because he said it's going to blow your mind, and he's telling me this. And what he's doing is going to blow my mind on what he's doing. I think Amanda's on a call with him right now. Those guys they've been talking back and forth. Don could probably shed some light because he was in on those conversations. Guys, I'm excited about what we can do, what all of you could do as a group. You do it on your own business, but as a group, being able to go out there and just dominate. And you got all these, opportunities out there. I mean, there's some stuff that in here that I never thought I would ever do, and it's like blowing my mind up. Just like Eric said in his message. I mean, it was clear as day this morning. I want to show you this because it's going to blow your mind. And I'm looking forward to it because he's the guy that generated 1,000 foreclosures and got him skip trace and everything down in 12 minutes. I mean, that's pretty insane as it is. So yeah, yeah. So Nick and what's going on with you? We'll get, and like I said, Tanya, I'll do yours tomorrow. We can do our one-on-one, Nick, and then also with Don, I can do one with you as well, and then everybody else, Kevin, can, guys, I can do as many as you need. So just let me know. I try to do them like at the same time, time frame. Or I'll have some time on Saturday. Sunday, I'm just going to basically deep dive on. I'm trying to just see if there's being able to have a duplicate of RCIC GPT with like Claude. I just don't know what it's going to look like, and we're not obviously like a lot of people that hit me up like, should I wait? No. Everybody likes GPT, use it. There's people like Claude. The reason is I know some people are, it's a political divide because there's some stuff going on between Anthropic, which is Claude's company, and OpenAI, which is GPT, and all that stuff. And it's like they're the two largest of there's obviously Gemini and Grok and all them, but just trying to see that there's some opportunity for people who may not want to get into RSIC, which helps you. The more people, actually, this is the thing you guys understand, the more people that are in this, the better for you, because it just keeps churning, and it's like it keeps generating predictive intelligence, compounding intelligence. So every day, every user gets smarter and smarter, and that's the beauty of the system. So I want to be able to get those emails, those messages from all of you as well. And this thing's going to blow your mind when I'm doing this. I want everybody out there building. This is like Burger King. It's your way. Which, by the way, if I could ever have a Burger King's Whopper with McDonald's French fries and Wendy's Frosty in the same place, I'd be happy. So I don't have to go to 3 places. So, but yeah, so like Burger King, man, you guys can all have this your way. Let me also show you, this is cool and this is free. And for everybody, and I set up the Facebook group and the GPT for this today. So yes, I have another GPT. But this is free, and you guys can use this, and you can help, throw it out there for marketing if people want to see what it is. I created a GPT called Murdoch. And I named him after, and Kevin will tell you this, I'm a huge fan of the A-Team from the 80s, and my favorite character was obviously Murdoch, played by Dwight Schultz. And my dog, when I got in 6th grade, was named Murdoch. I named him after the character. So this is Murdoch, and it's basically free, and I've got a Facebook group, and there's a bit.ly, and the ChatGPT links are both in there for people. So you guys can tell anybody that's interested in real estate to go there. And so it's create smart, trust-driven marketing for RCIC and real estate investor audiences. So it helps build authority, drive communicate growth, sharpen investor messaging, promote events and education, and turn ideas, transcripts, and offers into credible content and campaign. So you can create a week of content. You can build a full promotional campaign. It can run a 5 email nurture sequence that builds trust, turn this operator deal insight into investor facing information. So this is kind of cool. And so because this is going to be my own agent that I'm going to be using out there to help promote all of you. So this will actually, I'll be using this to work for you, to you guys as well. So it's basically putting a 7-day content plan together. So you guys want to sit there and think about how deep it is when that, this is building content plan, and it's doing weekly objectives. what a strategic theme is for the week, and all the content. So this is really a lot of my planning, but you guys have full access to this. So you guys can go in and you can modify it and make it your own as well. This one's free to the whole entire world. I thought about putting it in the App Store, but I want to put it in. So there's a Facebook group. It's Murdoch for Real Estate is the Facebook group, and it's pretty cool. So he's going to be my agent. A lot of people are building agents that are named and stuff, and I'm going to use a lot of the technology and stuff to build this up. And I'll be able to deploy my agents with it, and go out there and generate stuff for you guys. So that's kind of a cool thing. One other thing I wanted to show you tonight, and I know I want to probably end in about 11 minutes, so we're just under an hour. I'm just, like I said, I'm really trying to go like 3 hours a week, and that if we're able to go 3 hours a week on the 2 sessions, then I'm able to probably add an hour or 2 for one-on-ones.
All right, I'm gonna start the timer.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
and is Curtis on? Because I know he's like time me too. I'm trying to show. I was going to chats. So I got the 4 emails I get today. One of them was telling me I need to connect Gmail, like I was telling you guys the last 2 weeks, and I still got to go connect it. But I'm connecting it for my laptop and my other laptop, but not for this. So this one will always come back with that, because I'm going to set that up on all my lead generation and stuff is going to be set up on my personal one, because I do want to start showing you everybody how that works. So they sent me 4. These are cool. I got the Colorado distress opportunities. So I get 10 of these emails a week. I'm using 10 of my agents. I'll probably use 10 to run Murdoch, and I'll have the other 20 probably out there doing other things. But and it takes a second for these to populate. It has to go through, and it gives me like literally all the AHJs pop up, all the ones that I talk about in Colorado, and it gives me a lot of good feedback. But I also get one from nationally, and it can be all across the board, because remember I've talked to people about that. I put in 6,513 zip codes. It's supposed to be populating 50 markets. It was able to do the markets. It does the zip codes. It can go out there and generate a whole bunch of stuff. So this might be a little slower than what I was expecting. It's going to populate in a second. So yeah, keep that in mind. So these are the actionable ones in Colorado, distress opportunities. See, there it goes. You guys can see this. It'll finish populating. Okay. We'll way up as it builds. You guys can already start seeing it, like Arapahoe County, Douglas, all those counties in Colorado I've been talking about all the time. So you guys can tell it builds on. This is last week's, and now it's this week's. So I got 4 of these today, and I usually get them starting about 3 o'clock my time. So it's going to come out and tell me what's going. It tells me what's going on in the counties, foreclosure wise and all that. It gives actually some pretty good numbers. So you guys can go out there and and then Colorado's awesome, but it doesn't give you all the. You got to do a few things on all of your markets as well to actually generate the more accurate information. But you can have this sent to your Gmail, like I was talking about. It's pretty cool. So you get into it. It talks about 7 days of direction. There's Jefferson County, Denver, Arapahoe, Douglas. There's El Paso. So 7 counties. It gets into the evictions. It gives me the number, what's going on in NED filings for foreclosures, what the sale activity is at the end, what the probate is, the tax liens, the vacancy, and then the surplus and overblade funds. So these emails actually give me, when you click on them, it actually brings you and opens up a chat. Well, I've already got the chats going, so it just basically adds on. That's why this is slow, is because there's a lot of information. This has been going on for about 3 or 4 months. So it tends to be a little bit slower. Keep that in mind. Chats slow down, projects don't. So it's kind of cool, guys. Like I said, I'm kind of showing you that you guys can get a lot of information and intelligence sent to you. So when we build those market guides, when you guys can start receiving these. So it gives me my top 25 actionable opportunities in Colorado with those counties. Code interpreter, this and that, and you guys will see pop up. These little red notices, you guys can always just ask it what's going on. In some cases, sometimes it's just slow. And you can always ask it to fix things and stuff. In some cases, I'll get that. In some cases, something will expire, the link will expire. But here you guys go. It's pretty cool. Like I said, there's a lot. This goes back a couple of weeks, so we can get into. It does all the CSVs. It gets me into the legislative reporting, what's going on with the evictions. It actually last week it showed me the bill that they got in the Colorado legislature for wholesaling, and I didn't even know that it was there. And of course, my brother's in the legislature, so I sent him an email about it. He hasn't got back to me yet, but at least I was able to get the information. And you guys hear it's Jefferson County, Denver County, Arapahoe County, Douglas County, all those AHGs, all those off-ramps. It gives me all these, and I get these every week. So I get 10 different ones. They're 10 different reports. They're actually all different. One of them has, like I said, it has the national version of this. Another one I get surplus and overbids nationally. I got like 4 counties, DeKalb County in Georgia. I got a county up in Yakima, Washington, one in Arizona, and then Delaware. I'm trying to remember what city in Delaware it was by. This is kind of showing you guys the intelligence you can use with your agents. So you guys know you use Ask Anything. It's kind of cool that way. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh. Because this thing kind of gets a little bit, takes a minute to populate. But yeah, does anybody have questions on that? Because I want to get you guys, like, I want to get everybody your one-on-one and get you going and then get your agents deployed so you can start bringing information like that to you. You know, and that's like I said, you just, every week you can get a, you know, you can get as many reports as you want as long as you go, you know, don't use all your agents for that. You know, get your key reports, get your, you know, because it'll tell you at one time what's going on. If you got five counties and you're looking at all 5 different trusts, it'll give you all that information, what's going on. If you come in and see something that, hey, this county's all of a sudden there's a lot of foreclosures and during the foreclosures, guess what? Now you can dial into it and you can go dial into that issue and deploy another agent to actually monitor that county more specifically. So you guys can make those decisions on the fly. So it's really helpful to be able to use that for your intelligence. So I'm going to exit this page because it seems to have, the thing about it is it's the point where it's yeah, it's like a little bit of stuff going on sometimes, text stuff. I'm going to go to stop share and then I'll go ahead and come back and do it real quick. So it's kind of cool when you guys can see that. So you guys want to use core, that's pretty cool. And like I said, I showed that today on what we're doing. I'm going to actually generate the Zoom stuff now. So like I said, we tried to go an hour tonight. I'm going to try to go 3 hours a week, unless something's really important that we need to go over. But I think it's a good start for this week. Anybody, I mean, I'd literally tomorrow time I'll get yours done. Nick will get yours. Doris, get yours for one-on-ones where I can spend time getting you guys all tuned up, and then you guys are going to see some cool stuff come after Sunday, because Sunday I can deep dive a few things. It's kind of cool. Thumbnail under 1.99 megabytes for YouTube's standards, and a title, description, and hashtags covering this live session. So yeah, anybody got any questions? Anything like you guys want to, like, you know, especially if you guys start getting deals like this, if you guys want to start plugging them in, you want to plug them into yours as soon as we can get you up, because it's going to build your intelligence. Like I said, we'll get all the one-on-ones done and everybody here will be rocking and rolling. It doesn't take really that much to get them at least where it's starting to populate and starting to bring your intelligence and starting to work your numbers. So here it goes, it's generating my visual. There you guys go. I don't know who those people are. Sometimes it gets weird like that. There you guys go. There's my that's it for YouTube. So that's the text part. So yeah, this is kind of cool. So this is how I built the YouTube. So anybody reach out to me if you guys want to set your one-on-one up. Like I said, I usually try to set them up an hour, but most of them go like an hour and a half to 2 hours. So you guys know there's all my stuff there. So that's really cool. All right, guys. Like I said, we're gonna an hour. So we'll do 3 hours a week, like I said, and Doris, I'll send you that PDF so you can get me all the information that we need for those deals, so I can finish processing them. And then next week, everybody should see something completely different on those addresses, on those properties. Get you time to tomorrow. Don, I'll work with you, Nick, Doris. We'll get everything going on. All right, guys. I will see everybody over the weekend.
Thank you.
Thank
All right.
you. Everybody have a
Nick.
good night.
Night,
Yep.
everybody.
Thanks, man. All right, cool.